folks? Today is Friday, November 26th, 2021. As usual, my name is Jake Baldino, here to talk about all the video game news that has been going on this week. Also, hope you had a happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate. I have learned that you can be hungover just from food. Feels good though. Feels real good. So we got some cool things to talk about. The first bit of news this week is some new details about Horizon Forbidden West. In a blog post, both Sony and Guerrilla Games have taken the time to highlight just kind of what type of work they're putting into this newer, larger open world, specifically with NPCs and tribes. So now apparently on the team there is a living world team, a whole team dedicated just to making the world feel lived in, making it feel authentic, making the tribes feel real and tangible, and detailing some of the NPC behaviors and stuff. With this news, we got little clips, little glimpses of civilizations and towns and stuff, and as you probably know, in the original Horizon game, the cultures and the towns and the cities took up a surprisingly big part of the game, so I'm happy that it seems like now they're paying more attention to them, specifically with NPCs and how they're going to work in the world. They're going to have routines, they're going to have different parameters on them based on in terms of interactions with quests, your allegiances that you side with, and stuff like that. So with Guerrilla Games, it seems like they're going hardcore into the RPG territory, which excites me, honestly, especially considering like they already have all the robot dinosaur stuff figured out, right? The combat generally figured out, right? Where can they spend resources? Making the world feel more believable, more alive. I'm always down with that type of thing. For some people, it might come off as just set dressing and stuff, but I always really appreciate games where NPCs feel like they're going about things and doing things, and you can interrupt them and mess with them in ways that actually makes it feel genuine because they have things going on and you're getting in the middle of it. It's just that little extra bit of immersion, you know what I mean? The article and the description of how they're going about it is pretty interesting, so like all the news I'm going to talk about today, I'll link it in the description down below. Now, the next thing is a hot and spicy rumor. Take this with a grain of salt, but according to this insider who has tweeted some pretty interesting things before, Battlefront 3 was it was pitched to EA and they declined it. It was shot down. DICE apparently went to them with a concept, with an idea, and EA didn't want to do it, seemingly because of licensing fees and stuff like that. I don't really know. I'm kind of 50-50 on this one. This is honestly a pretty simple, straightforward rumor. I think it's just interesting to talk about Battlefront now, considering how far it has come with Battlefront 2, where it was like the worst example of some video game industry stuff, and it eventually evolved into being a pretty cool little Star Wars multiplayer game. I still think it's inevitable that we're going to get more, we're going to get another one, but I think it's a matter of who makes it and when. So you may have seen this pop up in headlines and stuff. I wouldn't go crazy with this, but yeah. Wait, did I say Battlefront or Battlefield the whole time? That could have ruined the entire story.
I was not listening.
Hopefully I said Battlefront, because I always mix them up. Okay, I'm talking about Star Wars. Next up, Cyberpunk 2077 has been in the news because of CD Projekt Red's head going on record saying that over time, Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be perceived as a great game. Maybe they just need a little bit more time. His quote is pretty interesting. He says, "We believe that in the long run, Cyberpunk 2077 will be perceived as a very good game. And like our other titles, it will still sell for years, especially as the hardware gets more powerful over time and we improve the game. We're working on updates all the time. We're also working on a version for the latest generation of consoles. Of course, the original release taught us a lot. It gave us a kick and motivated us to make changes that will make us better in the future." So yes, the headline, of course, Cyberpunk 2077, CD Projekt Red wants more time. They think it'll be a success. I just read this and I read his quotes as, "Breaking news, CEO of massive company wants the thing that they spent a lot of money on to make to continue to sell." I'm of two minds. On the one hand, I'm looking forward to seeing where that can go and how the game can really develop and flourish, but another part of me is over it, and I'm really looking forward to what they're making next. I'm not going to rush them. Take your time. I know a lot of people now don't want anything to do with CD Projekt Red, and I think that's understandable as well, so I think it's going to be a spicy next couple of years. What do you think, though? I think that's the biggest question. Everybody's all over the place with Cyberpunk, so definitely let us know in the comments. Hey, next up, this episode's brought to you by our longtime sponsor, Vessi.
Now, if you haven't heard about it by now, just know that these are our dependable daily drivers sneakers that we've been wearing for a long time now. They're solid, sustainably made, and comfortable, but most importantly, they're 100% waterproof, which is absolutely perfect for any time of year and definitely this season right now. At least here in New York, it feels like it rains almost every day in the fall, and then winter is right around the corner, so who knows what's gonna happen. But thankfully, these kicks right here got you covered with Dymatex. It's a dual climate knit material that keeps you cool in the summer and warm in the winter, but it doesn't feel like a weird waterproof shoe. They come in all different sizes, colors, and styles, and lately I've been rocking their everyday move shoe. It's their comfiest and easiest shoe yet, and it rained yesterday, and who got stuck in it and came out dry? That's right, this guy. These are always at my door, ready to go, so if you want to check these out, you can go to the link listed in the description down below and use our code gameranx to get $25 off your Vessi shoes. Vessi currently has their Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals right now, so check them out while you can. Note the discount does not apply to already marked down items, but again, if you want to check it all out, it's vessi.com/gameranx. And thanks to Vessi for sponsoring our videos.
Next up in some big industry type news, Epic Games has acquired Harmonix. Harmonix, of course, are the people behind stuff like Rock Band, musical stuff, most recently, like Drop Mix, a kind of card game. They also are still working on Fuser, which is like that DJ style mix type of game thing. Now they are gobbled up by Epic Games, and they are not going to be dissolved. They're going to continue to support Rock Band and stuff like that. Their games are still going to be available on Steam, which is nice. And along with that, they are apparently, according to the release from Epic and stuff, they're going to be working on Fortnite stuff, specifically Fortnite's big musical, now technically, I guess, metaverse-style events, which is a good fit. Harmonix has always very much pushed the boundaries in terms of embracing music and games and stuff like that. I just hope that means that, like, once they're finally done supporting Rock Band and stuff, then they just become Fortnite stuff, because I think that they always have really good ideas. They've had a lot of ups and downs over the years, but they've made some really cool experimental stuff, a lot of cool game ideas, so I hope maybe that's able to flourish. On the other hand, you can look at it as Epic Games just, swallowing up another company. That's unfortunate, but if anything, it does inject some life into the Boston game development scene. Harmonix is based in Boston, so that's cool. At least people continue to keep their jobs, but some people are die-hard Harmonix fans. I know some people that are just so fervently super fans of that studio and what they put out, so I'm curious to hear what those people think about this type of thing. How cool is Rock Band?
Rock Band is so good.
We should get Rock Band here and just do it.
You want it?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's do that.
Next up, it's worth acknowledging, it's still in the early days, but the Halo stuff. So Halo multiplayer is out, technically. It's free to play. It's in its first thing. It did have its first event, and seems like people weren't super hot on it, and it seems like that's kind of on top of people not being super hot on a lot of things, like the Battle Pass, basically the way the progression pans out. And of course, it's also come out the free-to-play model, the stuff that you're going to have to spend money on. People are also not happy with that. There's a bunch of cosmetics and stuff. Somebody said that it's going to cost over $1,000 to buy everything. Skins are pretty aggressively priced, especially if you're not used to these types of things. Personally, I'm still in the early days of digging into it all. I expected like shitty free-to-play stuff. I'm not justifying that, of course. It's also, I think, a really hard adjustment period because people who play Halo usually aren't used to that type of stuff. At the very least, 343 has been listening to feedback. I'm curious to see where it goes. I would like to see the Battle Pass changed up. We're going to put out a video about Halo. We're going to do it before you buy, of course, so we'll go much deeper into it then. But for the meantime, that's where people are at right now, and it's worth pointing out that, again, 343 has acknowledged some of this stuff. But in an update I'm really excited about, IO Interactive has announced their next year for Hitman 3 support. Hitman 3 is a game that I think is going to be somewhere in my personal top 10 game of the year list. It came out very early 2021, but there's a bunch of new stuff coming, some graphics improvements and support. PC VR is going to be a thing. It was a PSVR exclusive, but now thankfully it's going to be on PC. So I can do that cool tap a person on the shoulder and then punch them in the face trick that has seemed to be really cool. Along with that, they have announced new modes, new maps coming, which is pretty huge, so I'm looking forward to playing all that stuff over the next year. That's just me. That's a little Jake news, but yeah, just wanted to put that out there. Hey, also, in case you missed it, Kojima Productions announced that they are expanding, and they've established a new film, television, and music division, which is pretty cool. I think the potential is high for some pretty creative stuff. It's probably going to be a while until we, see anything come from that. It could also just be like a division to help kind of handle the release of like their soundtracks and different teaser type stuff. Who knows? You never know with those guys. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. Also, the new Resident Evil movie is out. Just a heads up, a lot of people didn't realize. Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City. I saw it day one. As a diehard Resident Evil fan, I had to give it a shot. I did not like it. People always say, Jake, you like everything. Well, here's one. Just a PSA, some people have been having fun with it. My full thoughts are on my channel, Jake Baldino, but just wanted to put that out there. And also, we've linked a trailer for a new Dead Cells update, which brings a lot of cool stuff, skins for characters like from Hollow Knight, Hyper Light Drifter, Guacamelee, Blasphemous. Like, to be able to play as those characters in this is just perfect. Dead Cells was one of my favorite games the year it released, so to see it just get cool stuff like this just makes me itching to revisit it. But will I have time? Probably not. There's a lot of games that we still gotta work on, so we're gonna go back to work right now. That's all the gaming news that has been going on this week, the stuff we thought at least was interesting. So let me know in the comments what you think about Cyberpunk 2077. Where do you think that's gonna go? Do you think we're gonna get a Battlefront? You think we're going to get a Battlefront 3 anytime soon? And the Horizon Forbidden West open world stuff. What do you want from an open world game, specifically like Horizon? Let us know. We'll be down there talking to you guys in the comments, of course. Things get a little crazy though, so if you want to yell at me directly, just find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jake Baldino and YouTube.com/Jake Baldino. And of course, in the comments, definitely in that pinned comment, let us know what you're playing this weekend. Maybe it's Halo multiplayer, maybe it's anything. There's so many games out right now, so definitely let us know what you're working on. It helps us out for research purposes. But thank you for coming around. Thank you for watching every Friday. We're here every Friday. We're never gonna stop. All you gotta do is click the like button because it does help us. But I'm Jake Baldino. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Pizza's on me.